on and live on YouTube also. I'm recording. Yes, Atul bhai, you can begin. Yes, Atul bhai, you can begin, sir.
Yes.
Atul bhai.
Yes. REWA लॉज वडोदरा, रोहित लॉज अमदावाद અને જ્યોતિ લॉज મુંબઈના ઉપક્રમે આયોજિત ત્રિવેણી મંગળવાર મીટના રાધાજીના દિવ્ય જન્મના 100મા વર્ષની ઉજવણી કે જે માનવ ઉત્થાન તરીકે ઓળખાય છે તેને કર્ણાટક ફેડરેશન, મુંબઈ ફેડરેશન, ગુજરાત ફેડરેશન અને યુપી ફેડરેશન ના આજના પ્રવચનના વક્તા રાઘવેન્દ્રજી, શ્રેયસજી, તપસ્વિનીજી અને આજની સભાના મોડરેટર શ્રી તરલભાઈ મુનશી તેમજ આજની સભામાં હાજર સર્વ સભ્યોનું રાધાજીના નિવાસસ્થાન અડિયારથી આપ સર્વેનું સ્વાગત કરું છું. કેશવરબેન દસ્તુર વૈશ્વિક પ્રાર્થનાથી આજની સભાની શરૂઆત કરાવશે. કેશવરબેન, આપનું સ્વાગત છે.
Oh, hidden life, vibrant in every atom.
Oh, hidden light, vibrant in every atom.
Oh, hidden light, shining in every creature.
Oh, hidden light, shining in every creature.
Oh, hidden love, embracing all in oneness.
Oh, hidden love, embracing all in oneness.
May each who feels himself as one with thee
May each who feels himself as one with thee
know he is also one with every other.
know he is also one with every other.
Shanti, Shanti,
हेलो
Shanti.
ग्रांट किया
કેશવરબેન, શ્રી તરલભાઈ મુનશીને આજની સભાની આગળની કાર્યવાહી માટે આમંત્રિત કરું છું. તરલભાઈ, આપનું સ્વાગત છે.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अतुल भाई और राघवेंद्र जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. बहुत लंबे समय से श्रेयस जी और हम कोशिश कर रहे थे कि आप पूरे त्रिवेणी मीटिंग में आकर सबको संबोधित करें, तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और संक्षिप्त परिचय देना चाहूँगा. राघवेंद्राचारी जी एक ऐसे अध्ययनकर्ता हैं जो कर्नाटक स्टेट से बिलोंग करते हैं और अपना परिचय ये अपने वार्तालाप में और अच्छे अच्छे सब्जेक्टों में देते हैं. बहुत ही थियोसॉफी के गुरु विद्यार्थी हैं और श्रेयस भी ने एक बहुत गुरु तुल्य मानता है. इन्होंने HP ये प्रिंसिपल रहे थे लॉ कॉलेज के और उसके अलावा कर्नाटक में पिछले 25 वर्षों से थियोसॉफी में भी सक्रिय हैं. तो आदरणीय चारी जी, आप अपना पहला भाग स्पीच का कहें 18 मिनट में इंग्लिश में. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Yes, sir. You can begin. Sir, yeah, your voice is not getting, sir. We are not getting your voice. No, we can't hear you, sir. Sir, I think you're not on your voice. Please rejoin. And then I would request you to keep your video on, sir. Because it's a mobile, na? So on off, you may lose connection. Nahi, Raghavendra ji, your voice is not coming. Please rejoin. Yes, sir. Please.
श्रेयस इधर है, राघवेंद्राचार्य. श्रेयस,
हाँ इधर है गुरुकुल, इधर है.
श्रेयस भाई, आप उनको
हाँ.
बोलिए ना कि उनको वापस से लॉगिन करें. वो लॉगिन के बाद जो आता है ना कि कंप्यूटर वॉइस यूज करें, वो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. प्लीज हेल्प करें उन्हें.
हाँ ओके 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 ओके, आई विल कॉल हिम.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Shreyas bhai. पहले आवाज आ रहा था, फिर उन्होंने वो वीडियो ऑन ऑफ किया ना, उसमें वो चला गया.
Is it audible, sir, now?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My namaskar in the beginning to everyone, and Mahatmas and brothers and sisters. Today, this is RADHAJI'S birth centenary year. So we have been studying RADHAJI'S literature throughout the year. As a part of this, now we are studying human regeneration. So in this text, I have taken up the nature of the change. In Kannada, it is Badalavanaya Sahaja Guna. So this is a question and answer session in the textbook. So here is a question. Regeneration was described as a movement from self-centeredness to altruism. But Krishnamurti said there is no psychological evolution. How can we understand the difference? This is the question. So I will read out the question again. Regeneration was described as a movement from self-centeredness to altruism. But Krishnamurti said there is no psychological evolution. How can we understand the difference? This is the question. So RAGHAVENDRACHARI answers this question. Is there a progression from self-centeredness to altruism? Is there anything to be done about it? Is there no difference between one who is more self-centered and one who is less? Krishnamurti seemed to say that you are either self-centered or not, which indicates a jump and not a progression. So GW, the other speaker, tells Krishnamurti repudiated techniques to reach goals and said that when you really understand the problem, change takes place. But to me, an ordinary student, this seems impossible. We need time. We begin by studying, then there is some awakening. We confront life, make some progress, fall back some steps, and we go on again. As a simple person, I feel I need time. This is the opinion of GW. He wants to get more time for evolution, for the slow evolution. So AR says, when a man stands in front of a house on fire and hears a child inside, all of a sudden his consciousness changes totally. He runs inside, ignoring all danger to himself, and saves the child. The moment he comes out of the house, his consciousness returns to normal. What Krishnaji said is right for everyone at a certain moment. At certain moments, we have the courage to do something which never happened before. But the consciousness goes back to normal. It is seldom that it continues in function in that special way. And we cannot expect the same consciousness to continue. Next, Radha Burnier says, could it be something like a fruit on a tree? It ripens gradually, and at the right time, it drops. An unripe fruit does not fall. The consciousness of the liberated person who has no self in him is in a different dimension. So, one cannot progress towards it. One cannot progress towards it. The consciousness of an animal is dimensionally different from the human. The little dog, which is often here, sees us sitting together for more than an hour and talking, but he cannot understand the subject we are talking about. Similarly, the dimension of freedom in which the consciousness of the liberated individual dwells is totally different from ours. In this sense, either you are there or you are not. There is a joke about somebody being a little bit pregnant. One who is a little bit selfish is selfish. He who feels a little bit separate is separate. So, either a person is selfish or he is not. Krishnaji's ways of putting things is expressed in the the title of one of his books. The Urgency of Change is the title of the book. We are all contented with small improvements and like going slowly. Even if we notice the selfishness, we say, I am not too bad. After all, I have changed. Somewhat in the last 20 years. But this is not enough. The little bit of selfishness may flare up when provoked. That is why the path of occultism is full of wrecks. So, avagada. The Upanishads mention the razor-edged paths. The Bible says, straight is the road and narrow is the gate. Because as long as a speck of selfishness remains, it can flare up and become like a wildfire. Though the danger remains, we are unaware. Let us try to understand Krishnaji in the spirit of his words. See the truth of what he says. Many times he said, throw away all your books. Then, why were his talks printed even during his lifetime? Does he make an exception of his own books? No. He strongly urged people not to become dependent on books. It is not enough to repeat. The Upanishads say that, so it must be true. We must not make a creed out of books or just read more and more books and acquire concepts. It is essential to meditate on what is said, look into oneself, realize for oneself the truth of what is said. So, talking to some teachers, Krishnamurti said that the self cannot be abolished in one dramatic act. As the voice of the silence says, whenever there is dust on the mirror of the mind, it must be wiped away. It must be wiped away. In relationship with everything, the self must be watched and the wiping or negating must take place. I think that there is truth in both statements. By constant negation, the use of viveka, purification takes place. By listening, observing, learning, clarity and maturity come to the mind. Then, at a certain time, there is the stepping from the sphere of time into timelessness. That is the dimensional change. This is not giving an argument to go slowly, but I think one should not ignore the necessity of living the right kind of life. Krishnamurti himself says, without righteousness, there is no meditation. If there is no question of any other change except that major one, then what does it matter if you lead a righteous life or not? But it matters immensely because it prepares the mind.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yes, sir. What is the difference between regeneration and transformation? Now, the another question. I repeat it again. What is the difference between regeneration and transformation? The two words in Kannada are punaruthana and parivartana. What is the difference between punaruthana and parivartana? I think we can go from having to being and from being to non-being. The only question is, are we willing to give up our having? I think when we do so, that means transformation. When we come near to being, we come near to regeneration. So here is a point. I will read it once again. I think we can go from having to being. Here are first point and second point. Having to being. Having means in Kannada, nannadu, it is mine. Probably in Hindi, mera. It is having to being. Being means my identity, my identification with myself. It is I. A child begins its existence probably in the beginning. It is having. A child always says mera, mera, nannadu, nannadu in Kannada. It is having. It is the beginning. The child has no its own identity, but only the concept nannadu, having. And slowly, when we educate the child, it becomes being. So it identifies with himself or herself. It becomes being. In the beginning, only having, and slowly, when due to education, it becomes being. So, and then from being to non-being, it is the ultimate. Being to non-being. So ego-less. Being is ego, and non-being, ego-less stage. The only question is, are we willing to give up our having? So if we give up the first stage, we can get to the second, and then we can go on to the further. So I think when we do so, that means in a transformation. So to give up leads to transformation, he says. Then when we come near to being, we come near to regeneration. Being means identify who am I, to know who am I. When I know myself, I can get regeneration. So LR says the difference may be in the words themselves. Transformation means forms are changed, the outer forms. Regeneration is a new creation from inside. Maybe even transcending form. Transformation, regeneration are connected with each other, but they point to two different ways of change. So Radha Burnier says, in a loose sense, the two words are used as synonyms, means samanartha the words which give the same meaning, synonyms. But a complete transformation does not mean that the form is changed. So complete transformation is not the change of the form. It refers to a total change. In a more literal sense, as I said, transformation means change to different form, while regeneration means a new birth. This new birth is not reincarnation, coming into a new body. It is a new birth within. It is not a new body. It means it is new birth within, antaranga. So it is. So many religious traditions speak about a new birth. In ancient India, the word Brahmana meant one who lives the kind of life that leads to Brahman, Brahman, the ultimate reality. The Brahmana was also called the twice born. In Sanskrit, it is called Dvija, twice born.
Sir, 3 minutes to sum up first part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. He had to die to something. He had to die to something and be born in consciousness. Pragneli Janana. So the Christian world is familiar with the statement, he who loseth his life finds it unto life eternal. The Bible says, he who loseth his life finds it unto life eternal. ಯಾರು ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಾನೋ ಅವನು ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯುತ್ತಾನೆ. He also suggests a new birth. Krishna ji also talked about dying in this inner sense. So the death of the ego. So MD. So now we can give Shreyas a chance to give his talk.
Shreyas has just joined, and then when I highlighted him, he has gone away. And now he is here. Shreyas, please, you can start, Shreyas.
Yes, sir.
Ask video. Please put your video on, sir. Shreyas ji. Hello, Shreyas. Are you hearing me? Please put on your video. Hello, Shreyas. Okay. Tapaswini ji, can you please on your video for 1 minute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just on it for 1 minute. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. I think we'll take Hindi first and then add him. Please go ahead with Hindi. Thank you.
पहले तो सबको मेरा प्रणाम। आज का जो विषय वस्तु है ह्यूमन रीजनरेशन। सर मेरा आवाज आ रहा है?
हाँ, बहुत क्लियर आ रहा है, बोलिए।
थैंक यू सर। तो सर एक्सप्लेन किए हैं बहुत अच्छे तरह से। तो ये जो बुक लिए गए हैं, इसमें रीजनरेशन का जो एक्सप्लेन किया गया है, इसमें ये है कि स्वार्थ भाव से निस्वार्थ भाव तक बढ़ने का क्या है उपाय। मतलब जय कृष्ण मूर्ति जी ने ये कहा है कि इसमें कुछ दिमागी विचार का इवोल्यूशन नहीं है। हमको ये दोनों में फर्क कैसे समझ में आएगा? अभी हम ये बोल रहे हैं कि कोई इंसान स्वार्थी है और कोई इंसान स्वार्थ और निस्वार्थ भाव के तरफ कैसे बढ़ा जाए, और फिर इसके लिए कुछ क्या मतलब क्या किया जा सकता है। कोई इंसान थोड़ा स्वार्थी है, कोई इंसान ज्यादा स्वार्थी है, इसमें कुछ फर्क है क्या? इससे इसका कुछ मतलब है क्या? पर जय कृष्ण मूर्ति जी यहाँ कहे हैं कि अगर कोई इंसान स्वार्थी है तो वो स्वार्थी है, अगर कोई इंसान निस्वार्थ है तो वो निस्वार्थ है। ये दोनों के बीच में अगर हम लोग ये कहेंगे कि कोई कम स्वार्थी है या ज्यादा स्वार्थी है, ज्यादा निस्वार्थ है, तो ये इसके बीच में कुछ एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता, आइदर हाँ और ना। तो जय कृष्ण मूर्ति जी का वो जो इस गोल के तरफ बढ़ने के लिए कुछ उपाय बोले हैं। उन्होंने ये कहा है कि हमारे अंदर जो प्रॉब्लम है कि अगर हम वो प्रॉब्लम को समझ जाते हैं तो हमें इसका सलूशन मिलने के लिए, या फिर जो सिचुएशन को हम प्रॉब्लम समझते हैं वो सिचुएशन को हम चेंज होने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता। हमें जैसे हम आम इंसान हैं, ये सोचते हैं कि हमारे लिए तो ये इम्पॉसिबल है, कि ये असंभव है। हम ये सोचते हैं कि हमें इसके लिए थोड़ा समय चाहिए होता है। हम पढ़ते हैं, फिर समझते हैं, फिर हमको हमारे जो अंदर की कॉन्शियसनेस होती है, फिर हम हमारे जीवन में इसको ढालने की कोशिश करते हैं, फिर हम उसी हिसाब से प्रोग्रेस करते हैं। और हम आगे जब जाते हैं तो थोड़ा कुछ क्राइसिस आता है तो हम वहां पे थोड़ा पीछे भी झुक जाते हैं, और अगर वो ना हुआ तो फिर वो अगर सोल्यूशन हो जाता है फिर हम आगे बढ़ जाते हैं। तो वो थोड़ी कभी कभार क्या होता है, हमारा जो आगे बढ़ते जाते हैं तब क्राइसिस में थोड़ा हम धीमे भी हो जाते हैं, पर फिर भी हम उसी तरफ आगे बढ़ते जाते हैं। इसीलिए मैं आम इंसान के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में ये कहती हूँ कि हाँ, मुझे टाइम चाहिए, क्योंकि बिना टाइम में हम लोग, बिना समय में हम लोग कुछ नहीं कर पाते। वो एक नॉर्मल इंसान जो कि मैं अभी हूँ वो मैं कह सकती हूँ ये। पर हमने कभी ये सोचा है कि हम जो कह रहे हैं कि हमें इस चीज के लिए टाइम चाहिए, हमारे अंदर जो कॉन्शियसनेस है उसे जागरूक के लिए हमें टाइम मतलब चाहिए है, या फिर हमारे लिए ये मुश्किल काम है। तो सिंपल सा ये एग्जाम्पल है जो कि इस बुक में दिया गया है, मैं उसे कोट कर रही हूँ। समझ लीजिए कि आप रास्ते में जा रहे हैं, कोई एक घर में एक बच्चा फंस गया है, उसके मतलब आग लगी हुई है, कोई एक बच्चा फंस गया है, तो हम तभी क्या करते हैं, हम उसके बारे में सोचते हैं, हम अपने चिंता ना करते हुए भी उस बच्चे को कैसे बचाएंगे, उसमें वहां पे जाके कूद जाते हैं और उस बच्चे को बचा के बाहर ले आते हैं। तब हमारे दिमाग में ये नहीं आता कि मेरा क्या होगा, मैं जल जाऊंगा या मेरा कुछ हो जाएगा। उस सिचुएशन में हम लोग को वो सारी चीज नहीं आता। तो वो जो सिचुएशन है, हमारे अंदर जो चेतना जागृत हुआ वो कभी नहीं हुई थी पहले, कभी ये सारा चीज नहीं, वो सिचुएशन हुआ तब जाके हम लोग का वो जागृत मतलब हुआ, हमारा जो कॉन्शियसनेस है वो जागृत हुआ, तब जाके हम लोग वो जाके बच्चे को निकाले। बट ये वाले सिचुएशन पहले कभी नहीं हुआ था, उस टाइम हुआ। फिर उसके बाद क्या होगा, हम लोग का जो पहला जो कॉन्शियसनेस था वही हम लोग मतलब जो पहले थे उस सिचुएशन में हम लोग फिर लौट आते हैं, नॉर्मल सेल्फ में आ जाते हैं। हमारा जो चेतना है जो जागृत हुई थी वो नॉर्मल पोजीशन में आ जाती है। तो ये यहाँ पे ये कहा गया है कि हम जो कहते हैं कि हमारे लिए इम्पॉसिबल है, वो कुछ इम्पॉसिबल नहीं है, वो स्पॉन्टेनियसली हमारा जो चेतना है, जो रियल नेचर है, जो हमारा ट्रू नेचर है, वो बाहर निकल के आता है। और उससे कोई मतलब सिचुएशन इस तरह से आ जाता है, हम अवेयर नहीं रहते हैं, तो यहाँ पर ये चीज कभी ना कभी किसी के साथ हो जाता है, मतलब ऐसा होता भी है। और वो हमेशा कंटिन्यू मतलब जो करने के लिए जो स्टेबल रहते हैं उसके लिए हम उसके ऊपर काम कर सकते हैं। मतलब ये जो चीज हम लोग का उसी सिचुएशन में आया है, उसको हम लोग कंटिन्यू करने के लिए उसके ऊपर हम लोग काम कर सकते हैं, और उसी हिसाब से हम प्रोग्रेस कर सकते हैं। और ये जो सिचुएशन है, जब हमें समझ में आ जाएगा कि ये जो सिचुएशन हुई थी, जो प्रॉब्लम हुआ था हमारे अंदर, जो चेतना जागृत हुई है, वो जब भी कभी हो रही है उससे हमें हमेशा जागरूक रखना है। ये जो रियलाइजेशन हमारे अंदर हुआ है उसे हम ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कहते हैं। और जब ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के तरफ आगे बढ़ते हैं, जब रियलाइजेशन हो गया है, तब हमारे उसी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन को कहते हैं। और जब हमारे उसके लिए हम उसी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के लिए काम करते हैं, उसी स्टेज में रह के उसकी और उसी पाथ में प्रोग्रेस करने के लिए जो हमारे चेतना है उसे हमेशा जागरूक रखने के लिए हमें कोशिश करते हैं, उसे हम लोग रीजेनरेशन बोलते हैं। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू। पार्ट फर्स्ट आपका हो गया। राघवेंद्रचारी जी, प्लीज कम बैक, प्लीज स्टार्ट योर वीडियो सर। Raghavendra ji, yes sir, you can continue part 2 and take your time because Shreyas has got some connection problem, so he
Yes,
will
sir.
join later and do it in other language. You please continue in English.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. MD says, in the Tibetan tradition, with which of course Madame Blavatsky was extremely familiar, you have the two levels. There is the ordinary human birth, which we all have when we are in some kind of human body. This does not necessarily mean that we have human intelligence. Means we are all human beings, but all there is no not necessarily mean that we have human intelligence. Someone might, for instance, be born as a Mongol child. This is called the ordinary human birth. But the second birth, which is beyond the edge, where there is a kind of borderline between animal and man, is what is called this precious human birth. In Kannada, they say, Manava Janma Doddadu, this precious human birth. So that is the twice born one. It is called Dvija. Inside all of us, there is no soul. Buddhists do not believe in souls, but an inner self which has no permanence either. That is the Vajrasattva. HBB mentions in The Voice of the Silence the diamond soul, Vajrasattva. This may seem no help to us in our work, but it would be if we got an inkling of what that is and knew that that is not permanent either, but a stepping stone to understanding Brahman, which is very difficult for us. Perhaps making friends with that aspect inside might help us towards regeneration. It continues with the EA. I think regeneration is an ongoing thing. It is not only a new birth. Regeneration is constantly going on. So WV says, regeneration cannot be put into words, although it is spoken of in all religions. Real regeneration, real transcendence, or birth to something perfectly new may become clearer to the Christians among us if we follow the important events in the life of Christ. Then we see what a moment of supreme experience we have to go through before we can talk of regeneration. There is a Satori experience in Zen Buddhism related as follows. Before I got Satori, a tree was a tree, a river was a river, and a house was a house. Now, a tree is a tree, a river is a river, and a house is a house. And yet, everything is new. Regeneration points to an experience with a real spiritual meaning, which is which is difficult to understand and explain in words. This experience has to be lived, which implies total change from the old level to a new level of being, of consciousness. In any case, it implies much suffering. So RH says, continues, to me, regeneration means coming to one's own real nature and essence again. Our body, emotions, and thoughts are not our real self. But when we no longer identify ourselves with that, when the little self, the personality is forgotten, then we can come to our true self. And this is the one universal life in all. When we are consciously one with this universal life, when we are this universal life, we have realized our true nature, which we knew before we began our pilgrimage. This spark of divine life at the core of our being was one with the one life before it began its pilgrimage into incarnation. Then it got a feeling of separateness, and its destiny is to come again to the feeling of oneness, but in a much deeper, richer, and more intense way than at the beginning. So Radha Burnier says, is nature not a great teacher? Perhaps natural process can teach us what regeneration is. Before we die in the ordinary sense of the term, over years, we acquire various ideas and prejudices. So when we look at something, we look with the memory of the past. We see the rose. How do we know it is a rose? Because the image of previous roses is in the mind. We are unable to see the rose without the past images. Naming implies the weight of all the past. Recognition is recognition. Memory of the past experience, and also of the after the body dies, there is a new birth in the ordinary sense of the term. The child is innocent. It looks at a butterfly with new eyes, full of wonder. Everything is new and fresh. So nature teaches what a new birth can be. Regeneration is this awareness without the accumulated burdens of the mind. And we do not have to wait until the body dies. In fact, that is not complete regeneration, because a child is born with latent tendencies and it gets conditioned very soon. Can there be a new awareness with no latent tendency? Latent tendencies, and it gets conditioned very soon. Can there be a new awareness with no latent tendency, no burden of the past, seeing with eyes that are completely new? Then everything might so it ends here, sir. My study ends up here.
Okay, sir, no problem. Shreyas ji, please, you can take both the parts together.
Yes, sir.
Please on your video. Hello, Shreyas. Yeah, you are there. Thank you. You can take both the parts now. Yes, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, you are audible. Thank
Hello.
you. Yeah, you are audible.
Hello.
ಓಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್
Yeah,
ಮಾಡೋದು.
okay.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Okay, go ahead. I think he's not able to connect. Hello, Shreyas. Okay. तपस्विनी जी आप अपना दूसरा पार्ट बोल दीजिए. एक मिनट के लिए वीडियो.
ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ ಶ್ರೇಣ ಇಲ್ವಾ ವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೇಣ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್
Hello, please everybody just put off your microphone on silence, sir. And Tapaswini ji, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can on your video for 1 minute. You're on, and then you can go ahead. Since you are having difficulty with line, we will hear you. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Part 2.
ठीक है. तो उसके बाद वो एक पॉइंट में डिस्कशन करते हैं जो कि है डिफरेंस बिटवीन रीजनरेशन एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. रीजनरेशन एंड और ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के बीच में क्या अंतर है या क्या भेद है, उसके ऊपर वो चर्चा करते हैं. लिटरली अगर मैं उसका मीनिंग बोलूंगी तो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन का मतलब क्या है, ये है कि एक रूप का दूसरे रूप में बदलना. और रीजनरेशन क्या है, एक चीज है जो कि सुप्त अवस्था में है और उसको जागृत करना, उसको रीजनरेशन कहते हैं. या फिर हम ये कह सकते हैं कि कोई एक चीज है जो कि डेड है, खत्म हो गया है, मर गया है, और वहां से एक नई चीज उत्पन्न होना, उसे हम रीजनरेशन कहते हैं. और हम अभी चलते हैं साइंटिफिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में. ठीक है. तो इन साइंटिफिक व्यू में क्या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन का मतलब क्या है, कन्वर्ट वन फॉर्म टू अनदर फॉर्म. फॉर एग्जाम्पल पानी का बर्फ होना या फिर पानी का भाप में बदलना, इसे कहते हैं ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. एक जो सरल रूप है उसका बर्फ रूप में बदलना, मतलब एक जैसे पानी को अगर हम लोग फ्रीज में डालेंगे तो वो बर्फ हो जाएगा, मतलब उसका जो परिवर्तन होता है फॉर्म का. और एक रीजेनरेशन का एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ. अगर जैसे एक पेड़ है जो कि मर गया है, फिर जब बारिश होता है, बारिश की बूंद उसमें गिरते हुए वहां पे उसी जगह में एक छोटा सा उसका एक पौधा निकल जाता है, उसे कहते हैं हम लोग रीजेनरेशन. तो ये था साइंटिफिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में. अब हम लोग चलते हैं स्पिरिचुअल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में. ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन क्या है, उसका मतलब क्या है, हम लोग प्रीवियसली डिस्कशन कर लिए हैं कि हम अभी मानव शरीर में हैं, तो हमारे अंदर बहुत सारे नेगेटिव क्वालिटीज है. जो नेगेटिव क्वालिटीज है, जो नेगेटिव आइडियाज है मन में, मान लीजिए कि हमारे अंदर बहुत सारा हेट्रेट है, बहुत ज्यादा गुस्सा है, बहुत लोभ है, क्योंकि हम लोग का ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होके हम लोग यहाँ तक आए हैं. जैसे कि हम लोग को पता है कि एलिमेंट किंगडम से मिनरल किंगडम, फिर वेजिटेबल किंगडम, फिर एनिमल किंगडम, फिर ये सब होके हम लोग का ह्यूमन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुआ है. हमारे अंदर जो नेगेटिव क्वालिटीज है, जैसे जितना हेट्रेट है, वो सालों साल, बहुत साल तक पहले हुआ है, बहुत साल तक भी रहता है. तो हमें ये लगता है कि हाँ मैं यही हूँ, ये जो चल रहा है, ये जो हो रहा है, ये ठीक है, ये सही चल रहा है. हम लोग का ये सोच रहता है. तो हम ये सोचते हैं कि हम ये है, जो भी हो रहा है सही हो रहा है, और ये हम लोग के समझ में ये है. पर जो नेगेटिव क्वालिटीज है वो ठीक है. जो लोअर बॉडी है, जो लोअर कामना है, हम लोग जो लोअर वासना है, ये सब में जब हम लोग को ये रियलाइजेशन होता है कि ये एक्चुअल में मैं नहीं हूँ, तब वहां पे रियल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होता है। और जब हमारे उस चीज को, अगर ये मैं नहीं हूँ तो मैं कौन हूँ, ये जो सवाल आता है, अगर ये क्वालिटीज जो है मेरे अंदर, अगर ये मैं नहीं हूँ तो मैं कौन हूँ। तो जो क्वालिटीज मेरे अंदर जो एंगर है, जो भी नेगेटिव क्वालिटीज है, वो अगर नहीं है मैं, तो मैं एक्चुअल में मैं कौन हूँ। तो इसी खोज में आगे बढ़ते हुए, इसके तलाश में जब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं, तो उसे हम लोग रीजेनरेशन कहते हैं। तो उसके लिए जय कृष्णमूर्ति जी ने भी ये कहा है कि इसके लिए जो रीजेनरेशन और जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन का डिफरेंस है, हालांकि वो दोनों लिंक्ड है, कनेक्टेड है, पर ये दोनों अलग अलग है। उसके लिए जय कृष्णमूर्ति ने ये कहा है कि इसके लिए हमें कोई बुक या कोई गुरु या कोई भी हमें ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के लिए मदद नहीं कर सकता। इसके लिए हम लोग को खुद का रियलाइजेशन अंदर से जब होगा, तब हाँ, बुक और ये जो हम लोग पढ़ते हैं वो ठीक है, ये ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग इसको करने से हम लोग का कुछ फायदा नहीं, हाँ होगा, नॉलेज गेन होगा, और हम लोग अपने दिमाग में जो आइडियाज है उसको हम लोग स्टोर कर सकते हैं। पर हम लोग का जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है, इसके लिए हमें कोई भी मदद नहीं कर सकता, वो सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन होता है। तब आप जब ये रियलाइजेशन होगा, तब हम लोग क्या करेंगे, हम सच के खोज में निकल जाते हैं। जब आप उस मार्ग में चलने लगते हैं, तब उसको रीजनरेशन कहते हैं। हमारा जो कॉन्शियसनेस है वो सोया रहता है, लेकिन अब हम लोग जब उस रास्ते में जाते हैं, तो हम लोग का जागरूक हो जाता है। इसके ऊपर एक स्टोरी है, जैसे कि जब हम लोग को सबको पता है, जो बुद्ध जी हैं, तो वो एक दिन भ्रमण में गए थे, तरह तरह के लोगों के साथ उनका मुलाकात हुआ था। तब उनका जाके सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन हुआ था। पहले एक बूढ़े आदमी को उन्होंने देखा था, फिर सोचने लगे अरे ये कौन सा रूप है। तब जब उन्होंने ये एक्सप्लेन किया कि हम लोग को कभी ना कभी इस रूप में आना पड़ता है, तब उन्होंने कहा, फिर वो सोच के वो थोड़ा दुखी हो गए कि हाँ, ये इस हालत में भी हम लोग को आना पड़ेगा। फिर वहां से जाते हुए और एक बीमार व्यक्ति को मिले, वो बहुत, उसका तबीयत खराब था, वो परेशान था अपनी जिंदगी से। तब उसको भी देख के उनका मन अशांत हुआ कि हम लोग को भी ये मतलब हमारा भी ऐसे तबीयत खराब रहता है, हम लोग भी कभी ऐसे इस हालत में आ सकते हैं। फिर आगे चलते हुए एक 4-5 लोग एक मृत शरीर को लेके जा रहे थे। तब उन्होंने पूछा ये क्या है, तो वो बोले हम लोग का जन्म है तो मृत्यु भी होता है। तो तब उन्होंने मतलब उस टाइम में हाँ, ये सब तीनों को स्टडी कर दिए। फिर जब आगे बढ़ने लगे, तो 4-5 व्यक्ति कहीं पे जा रहे थे। तो उन्होंने पूछा आप सब कहाँ जा रहे हो, तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम लोग अपने खोज में जा रहे हैं, भगवान के शरण में जा रहे हैं। तब उनका उसी टाइम में उनका रियलाइजेशन ये हुआ था कि हम लोग का इस संसार में आए हैं, तो हम लोग का मतलब एक्चुअल में हम लोग किस चीज के लिए आए हैं, हमारा मोटिव क्या है, हम लोग कौन से राह में हम लोग को जाना है। तो उस टाइम में उनका जो रियलाइजेशन हुआ था, तभी उनका ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुआ था, और वो एनलाइनमेंट तभी उनका हो गया था। धन्यवाद।
तपस्विनी जी, और श्रेयस भाई का जो वीडियो है वो ठीक हो चुका है, लेकिन वो सुन नहीं पा रहे हैं। तो मैं उन्हें रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि जैसे मैं सिग्नल करता हूँ, वे दोनों पार्ट बोल दें।
Yes, sir. Shall I present the Kannada also?
Yeah, Kannada.
Yes,
Only
sir.
Kannada.
Yes, sir.
Shreyas, you got muted.
ರಾಧಾಜಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ರೀಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪುನರುತ್ಥಾನವನ್ನ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅಲ್ಟ್ರೂಯಿಸಂಗೆ ಒಂದು
नहीं नहीं
ಚಲನೆ,
राघवेंद्र
ಒಂದು
जी you are speaking.
ಪ್ರಯಾಣ
Shreyas is
ಪಯಣ
not
ಅಂತ
speaking. Hello hello
ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು.
hello hello
Yes sir.
Raghavendrachari ji, you are speaking.
Yes sir.
No Shreyas has to speak.
Shreyas.
Yeah, he has to speak, not you, sir.
Yes sir.
Shreyas, don't do lip syncing. If you are not ready, no problem, we can go ahead with others chat.
ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರ
Raghavendra ji, Shreyas, hello.
ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾನೆ.
Shreyas, you are muted, Shreyas. Hello.
ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್.
नहीं Raghavendrachari ji, I will talk to him, no problem. You be
Yes, sir.
relax.
Shreyas.
You relax, sir. You
What,
relax. You relax, I
Yes.
will talk to him.
Yes sir.
ओके सभी लोगों का स्वागत है और अब हम सीधे डिस्कशंस पर चलते हैं। क्योंकि श्रेयस भाई का ऑडियो वगैरह खराब है तो हम लोग आज लैंग्वेज ट्रांसलेशन को स्किप करते हैं और लेटेस्ट जितने भी लोग हैं अगर वो राघवेंद्राचार्य जी से कुछ पूछना चाहें, राघवेंद्राचार्य जी प्लीज पुट ऑन योर वीडियो सर, स्टार्ट योर वीडियो। राघवेंद्र जी, yeah, you remain here sir.
Yes sir.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to ask a question or Harshvardhan ji, you want to share something? There are many speakers here who can share something. Shinde sahab. Sushma ji, anyone would like to share? Harshvardhan ji. Hello. Raghavan ji, you want to add something, you can add, because we will not have the language, third language, as the Shreyas is not ready. So you can go ahead with the English version if you want to say, add something. We have time.
ಗೋಪಾಲ್ ಜಿ ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
Sir, you can go on in English. If you want to add something to this speech. Am I audible to all? Yes, Harshvardhan ji, you can add anything which you want.
Yes, you are audible. No problem with that. Just
We are not having the third language as we cannot connect.
no problem. No problem. It's all right. Yes, I congratulate you on taking this particular book, Human Regeneration, and really
ಉರಿಯುತ್ತಿರುವ ಮನೆಯೊಂದರ ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತಿರುವ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ
Shinde ji is there. Let us listen to you first.
Just a minute, Harshvardhan ji. I think Shreyas is back. Harshvardhan ji, Shreyas is back. Just a minute.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, Shreyas, go ahead.
ಅವನ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
No, I have not heard anything. Just now I connected.
Okay.
That's
so
why I am not able to tell anything about what discussion was held. Because
no,
we are
not about the discussion, sir. About the subject, you know very well. You can say whatever you want to add.
what if any question is there, we can deal with that.
Yeah, Harshvardhan ji, you can go ahead, sir. Please speak.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It is really the wonderful book, Human Regeneration by RADHAJI, and described it in this way. The progress of the people, of the human beings, with the nature elements also. So we are together in the whole universe. So that is what the leading us to that particular thing which is there in the cycle of all the sublime things. Now, what we do mentally and physically, that becomes the problem. And out of that, we have to find out the ways and means to have the real progress in life, but not for the sake of any other things that we harm others. We harm the nature, we harm the surroundings, we harm the resources of the natural treasure. So everything is there. So Radhaji here finds out one special word, that is altruism. This word is specialized in the way that how do we live? Do we live with altruism? So that is the question before us. First question. Second, she explains about this state of equilibrium. This is very, very central, I think central matter of discussion from Radhaji's different speeches. And what she has delineated, that is a human regeneration. Here we have to find out the state of equilibrium. Now it leads to that particular thing where we live with all the resources, with the particular material life, as well as what we have to do, that we should never try to degenerate it. So that is the main thing. So how we live the life, that is more important, and living the life without harming others, that is the main central focus of this particular discussion. There are many salient features and salient points where we find ourselves jailed in the way that we cannot help ourselves. That is one thing. So how should we come out of that? Should we depend on others for our prosperity? First question. Second question, should we harm our natural resources to be more prosperous? This is the second question. And third question is that what happens when our mental faculties are not developed? So in this way, that is also the degeneration of our mental faculties, because thinking very poorly without any kind of enrichment of our innermost. So that is also the question. So these are the three questions that we have to take up for our discussion through this book. And whatever she has in that way, during that time, what she gave the different lectures, and she delineated many matters with regards to the environment, with regards to the human welfare, and with regards to the other activities. So I think that this is really a kind of thing that we have to think over many a times. So here, what I find that this book is really in that way very important for us, so far as our theosophic literature is concerned. And really, Radhaji has explained it very nicely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. सनत व्यास जी, आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे? कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
Hello. Yes, sir. No, thank you, sir.
Okay, Sanat ji. Yeah, Shinde ji, you want to add something to the subject?
Some other is people talking?
Yeah, I think Sushma ji is saying.
Sushma ji wanted to tell.
नमस्कार.
Tell it.
नमस्कार. शिंदे साहब बताइएगा, मैं कुछ जो मैंने सोचा है वो मैं बात कर रही हूँ कि ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन जो इंडिविजुअल होता है, जब जय कृष्ण मूर्ति के भाई नित्यानंद की डेथ हो गई तो वो इतने इनग्रॉस हो गए उस विचारधारा में, तो उनका रूपांतरण हुआ, जंप इन कॉन्शियसनेस, और वह एकदम परिवर्तित हो गए। लेकिन जहां पर रीजनरेशन की बात आती है, उसमें जैसा कि भी हर्षवर्धन भाई ने कहा कि उसमें व्यक्तिगत और सामूहिक दोनों प्रयास चाहिए। और उसमें जय कृष्ण मूर्ति ने यह भी कहा कि रीजनरेशन के लिए पहला कदम ही अंतिम कदम है, लेकिन हमको इसके लिए क्या करना है? चैलेंजेस को देखना है, उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करना है, और जब हम चैलेंजेस को देखेंगे, उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे, तब जो है ग्रोथ होगी ह्यूमैनिटी की। ये दो अंतर हैं। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इंडिविजुअल है और रीजनरेशन जो है नवीनीकरण या पुनरुज्जीवन, पुनरुद्धार, पुनरुत्थान, ये खाली एक व्यक्ति के प्रयास से नहीं होता, सामूहिक प्रयास से होता है। सामूहिक रूप से जब हम ह्यूमैनिटी के चैलेंजेस को देखेंगे, इट इंक्लूड्स एवरीथिंग, एलिमेंटल किंगडम, वेजिटेशन, एनिमल, ह्यूमन बीइंग। तो जब हम उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करेंगे तब ग्रोथ होगी, और इसीलिए ह्यूमैनिटी ग्रोथ कर रही है। इसके लिए हमको टोटल अवेयरनेस चाहिए। ऐसा मैंने जो समझा वो मैंने शेयर किया।
थैंक यू सो मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। शिंदे जी कुछ सब्जेक्ट पर ऐड करना चाहते हूँ तब तक?
राघवेंद्राचार्य, Abhinandan Ray, wonderful explained, and we have taken this book during the birth centenary of Radha Burnier. This 2023 is the birth centenary of Radha Burnier.
Yes.
Radha Burnier herself said to celebrate centenary, she was not ready to celebrate any centenary. Centenary celebration needs to be the rededication and pay homage to those who have gone. But it is nice to celebrate such kind of centenary and rededicate to the work of the Radha Burnier. And as discussion took place here, there is a slight difference between transformation and regeneration. Transformation is to the form, and regeneration is in the consciousness. So there has to be change in the consciousness, there has to be rebirth in the consciousness. It is a rebirth actually. And transformation is form. Form gets transformed. Physically we get transformed, emotionally we get transformed, and that transformation is going on continuously. It is a continuous process. As we grow old, a lot of transformation is taking place within us. Just like a caterpillar larva gets transformed into butterfly, that form is changed from the larval stage to the adult stage, that is the butterfly, and the form is entirely different. So therefore, that is the example of transformation. And regeneration is actually unfoldment of consciousness, and that is not now stopped. We are not regenerating, and therefore there is a stagnation in the unfoldment of consciousness. And J. Krishnamurti insisted that there has to be revolution in our psyche. Then only we can change our subconscious. And then through the subconscious, being aware, as Sushma-ji pointed out, being aware of this subconsciousness, then we can move towards the super consciousness. That is what we say, initiation or changing the dimension of the consciousness. So that is regeneration. And regeneration is needed because humanity is degenerating now. After stagnation, it is dying. So it is essential factor now to take this up seriously. And Radhaji says, if all members become serious, it may be an ideal for regeneration, maybe a good noble idea, but all of us together think over regeneration and what we think that we become. And if we really think deeply, see what kind of change will be there in the human psyche. That is what Radhaji writes. And towards that, our Theosophical Society is aimed. And I think I would like to add nothing more to it. Just transformation and regeneration. Regeneration is the vertical expansion of consciousness. And transformation is horizontal expansion of consciousness. This also we can take into this. Vertical means either you go up and evolve, or you again degenerate. So that is a vertical, degeneration and regeneration. But transformation is horizontal. As you become more and more social, you become not only popular, you can become a leader also. So that kind of horizontal transformation can be seen, but vertical transformation is hidden. And that is more concerned with the regeneration or rebirth or initiation or unfoldment of consciousness. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I pay homage to Radha Burnier on this occasion. And we have great regards to Radha Burnier. as Keshwar Destur is there, she is also much influenced by the Radha Burnier, guided by the Radha Burnier. We all are really, we can say, I don't know, but I can say we are the students of RADHAJI, and Radha Burnier is our spiritual teacher. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Shindeji. Raghavendrachari ji, do you want to add something?
Yes, sir.
You want to add something more to the subject?
No, sir.
Okay, no problem. Because if no one has a question or something, we can go for the closing. But if you have something to add, this is a very good moment that Raghavendrachari ji, you can add something since you know this subject very well.
Let Keshwar Dastur say something.
Keshwar ji, she already said no.
हाँ शिंदे सर.
Yeah, Jagdish ji, आपका video on कीजिए.
Jagadish.
Please on your video.
हाँ sir.
Yeah. Please ask.
One question is there, sir.
Yes.
Is there any connection between the transformation and regeneration?
Raghavendra ji, you want to add? Can you hear Raghavendrachari ji?
Oh, Jagdish Hudiyar, he is asking some question.
Sir.
Is there connection between transformation and regeneration? Okay, Raghavendrachari will explain it.
Sir, your audio is not coming. Unmute. Yeah. Sir, unmute.
Brother Shinde has already explained it. There is connectivity between the two words. In the second question, we have come to that point already.
You can explain again, sir.
Radha Burnier says, in a loose sense, the two words are used as synonyms, but a complete transformation does not mean that the form is changed. It refers to a total change. In a more literal sense, as said, transformation means change to a different form, while regeneration means a new birth. We have heard already in the speech of Brother Shinde, beautifully he has explained. This new birth is not a reincarnation coming into a new body. It is a new birth within. So the word itself says transformation. It is already said by Brother Shinde. Form. Transformation. Form. There is evolution in the form. Transformation. So regeneration means rebirth, but it is related to consciousness.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Does anyone has some question? Anyone wants to add something? Atul bhai is here also. Atul bhai, any questions? Or we will go for the prayers.
Atul bhai is at Adyar now.
Yeah, I know that. I am in Indore.
Oh, okay.
We completed the study class in Ujjain yesterday on Mahatma letters. It was by.
Tell about Radha Burnier ji.
Who?
More about.
Who?
She was with Radha ji.
No. She doesn't want to say. Okay, we will go for the prayers then, sir, if everyone permits. Atul bhai, go for the closing. Today we didn't have the third speaker, so I'm so sorry that his connection was not good. The moment he started speaking, it was going away. Anyway, we understood it into main languages, Hindi and English. Thanks to all. And sorry for the technical fault from Shreyas side. Yeah, Atul ji.
યસ, કેશવરબેન શિવમનું ગાન કરાવશે અને ત્યારબાદ આપણે સભાનું સમાપન કરીશું.
સર, અતુલભાઈ તમારો થંબ મોબાઈલ પર છે. હા કેશવભાઈ.
मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्तानि नाहं न कर्णं न जीवा न च घ्राण नेत्रे न च व्योम भूमि न तेजो न वायुः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम 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 चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम न च प्राण संज्ञो न वै पंचवायु न वा सप्त धातु न वा पंचकोश न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चौपस्थपायुः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम 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 चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम न मे द्वेष रागौ न मे लोभ मोह मदो नैव मे नैव मत्सर्य भाव न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम 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 चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम न पुण्यम न पापम न सौख्यम न दुःखम न मंत्रो न तीर्थम न वेदा न यज्ञ अहम भोजनम नैव भोज्यम न भोक्तः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम 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 चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम न मृत्युर्न शंका न मे जाति भेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्मः न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम 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 चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम अहम निर्विकल्पो निराकार रूपो विभुत्वा च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न वा संगतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेयः चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम 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 चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम.
Thank you so much, Kishwar ji. Thank you, Atul ji. Thank you, Tapaswini ji. Tapaswini ji, if you can are free enough to just come once, आपका वीडियो ऑन कर सकती हो तो कीजिए, एक कुछ अल्प समय के लिए। कनेक्शन पुअर है पर फिर भी अगर आ जाए। हाँ, तपस्विनी जी आ गई। तो मैं ये सब टेक्निकल गड़बड़ी में एक चीज कहना भूल गया, ये भुवनेश्वर से हैं, वे MCA हैं और कंप्यूटर साइंस उन्होंने किया हुआ है, रॉयल पब्लिक स्कूल में वो पढ़ाती हैं और थियोसॉफी सोसाइटी उन्होंने 2009 में ज्वाइन की और पाइथागोरस लॉज से वो जुड़ी हुई हैं। आपका इंट्रोडक्शन कहना भूल गया था मैं, ये टेक्निकल उसमें, सो सॉरी। और हमारे बीच में डॉक्टर प्रशांत शाह हैं। मैं आप सबको बता दूं कि अगले वीक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट है। राघवेंद्राचार्य जी, नेक्स्ट वीक देयर इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट। द सब्जेक्ट इज फ्लेवर्स ऑफ थियोलॉजिकल प्रैक्टिसेस इन साउथ ईस्ट एशिया। That means he is going to speak on Balinese Hinduism and comparing it with the Indian Hinduism and Sanatan Dharma. It will be very interesting. So all of you will be there. Thank you, Dr. Shah, for giving us such important subject. And if you all permit, I'll just say bye-bye and go off till 18. Thank you. Thanks to all of you who were present. Thank you, Ashwadan bhai. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.